the royal family. They're one of those things that you either love or hate. You either spend hours upon hours reading articles and updates because you care, or you spend hours and hours doing it out of spite. Possibly the most entertaining members of the royal family in recent years are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Since their wedding in 2018, the couple has been through a lot of controversies and has faced a ton of backlash. But what will be the final nail in the coffin? What will it take for us to finally stop caring about these two, or the royal family as a whole? Here's everything you need to know about the insane downfall of Meghan and Harry's popularity. First off, let's start at the beginning, because the world didn't start out hating the couple. In fact, before Meghan and Harry were together, no one really cared about Harry at all. Years before all this drama, the main thing people would think of when they thought of the royal family was completely different than it is now. Mostly, people cared about the Queen, what she was wearing, where she would visit, and the like. On top of that, there was actually a different royal couple that took the center stage back in the day. And that couple is none other than Prince William and Kate Middleton. They had been the next big thing ever since they got married in 2011. And once they began to start a family together, entire magazines were dedicated to their children. They were on the cover of almost every magazine. Throughout this time, the public's opinion of the royal family was relatively positive. But that's not to say that the couple didn't face harsh negative publicity. It seems that if you want to have a relationship while in the royal family, you need to be okay with people talking badly about you, like all the time. But anyway, Hollywood and people in general either had no opinion on the family or they enjoyed keeping up with them. Yes, there were a few paparazzi whose life goals seemed to be destroying their reputation. But in general, there was no drama. Everything was pretty much business as usual. But then, in 2016, things changed. Because this was when Harry and Meghan first met. They met after a mutual friend set them up on a blind date, and they apparently just clicked. Their relationship became public in the fall of 2016, and pretty soon, there were some insane comments being made about Meghan. The media immediately erupted into chaos, with comments about Meghan being the center of attention. Because she was already an actress, the media seemed to be okay with calling her all sorts of sexist things. Not to mention, she and her mother were bombarded with paparazzi and strangers harassing them and approaching their property. It all became a mess pretty fast. And since Markle is half black, a lot of the media focused on that, making new racist and sexist comments their headlines. It was all a bit too much too fast, especially when you consider that almost none of this negative attention followed Kate Middleton down the aisle. It all just felt a bit racially motivated. But in a surprising turn of events, the royal family actually had something to say about it. They released a statement saying that they would not tolerate the abuse that Harry and especially Meghan were facing. This was a completely new thing to do at the time, because the royals never really commented on what the media said about them. So the fact that they chose to speak up, especially so early on in their relationship, it was really shocking. However, the media never really gave it a break. But moving on. The next big milestone for the couple was their wedding in May of 2018. And even during what should be a time of celebration, the couple still faced a ton of challenges. Specifically the fact that many people felt Meghan shouldn't have been allowed to enter the royal family. Because of her race, people assumed all kinds of things about her. Rumors began to circulate that her marriage to Harry was a calculated move by the Hollywood actress. It seemed that although most people were on their side, they just couldn't escape the controversy that followed them. But this would by no means be the worst thing to confront them about in their relationship. Around a year after they got married, something incredible happened. In 2019, they welcomed their first child, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, and everyone was pretty happy for them. I mean, you're not going to be mean to a newborn baby, are you? But this didn't mean that the couple would be the next William and Kate. The next big event of the couple's royal career happened in 2020, and this is probably the most significant moment in the entire timeline. Because in 2020, Meghan and Harry announced that they would be stepping down from their roles as senior members of the royal family. At the time, this was incredibly shocking news, but the biggest shock was still yet to come. Following the release of this news, fans everywhere were questioning why they would do such a thing. They fought so hard to have Meghan accepted into the royal family as Harry's wife. Why leave now? Well, if you're familiar with them at all, you'll know what happened next. Basically, they dropped the bomb that there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than we might have thought. The world found out that since marriage, Harry and Meghan had apparently been horribly mistreated. More and more information came out alleging that Meghan had faced a ton of racism and discrimination. And the dynamics between family members were declining so much that the couple's mental health was rapidly declining. This was when things really exploded. Everyone and their mother was talking about the royal family, and the arguments that were made public sparked a new debate about the long history of racism in the royal family. People were outraged, and Meghan and Harry were sympathized with. They were the two who had made it out of the royal family in one piece. They survived. Therefore, everyone was super interested and started advocating for them. People were pushing for change within the royal family, and were highlighting the fact that the history of the monarchy was rooted in colonialism and racism. It was a really big time for the royal family, because for the first time in recent history, the shouts of people who were angry about the family's behaviors were louder than the supportive fans. It was honestly crazy. But the controversy didn't end there, because after over a year of fierce debate over alleged abuse Harry and Meghan suffered, they finally decided to sit down for an interview with Oprah. The interview would leave no stone unturned. They were planning to air out all their dirty laundry and expose the royal family even more than they already had. Yeah, things were about to get crazy. The interview was explosive, to say the least. There were a lot of new claims of mistreatment, and overall, it was just one big sob story. But this was where things started to take a turn. For some, the interview was emotional and heartfelt, and it solidified their love for the couple. But for some, it felt like a desperate cry for attention from two people who have never gone without it. Opinions about the royal family, and specifically the couple, became divided, and things have only gotten worse from here. Because later, the Netflix documentary series Harry and Meghan aired. It showed much of the same two rich people complaining about how good they have it. The public's opinions of them and the royal family only got worse and worse, especially since Queen Elizabeth II died, and Harry released his autobiography, Spare. It seemed to most people that Harry and Meghan were has-beens, and the royal family, they were old news. So that was the downfall of Harry and Meghan. It's honestly kind of sad to see how far they went to hold on to their relevance. But what do you think? Do you think they're old news, or do you still think they have something important to say? Regardless of your opinions on the royal family, you've got to admit that this made for a pretty entertaining story. That was the insane downfall of Meghan and Harry's popularity.